Well, Nadir is interpreting Muhammad's claim in a very interesting way. What does Muhammad say? I've been commanded to fight people until they say, La ilaha illallah. Perfectly clear claim. But Muhammad meant something very different, according to Ka'b. But wait a minute. I can't quote Ibn Kathir, but he can quote Ka'b. I have no objections, though. Because Nadir interprets this in this way. Yes, I'm going to fight you, but if you want to live in peace, I'll live in peace. Well, how do you live in peace with Muslims? There's only one way to live in peace with the Muslims. What does Surah 3, verse 85 say? And whoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it will never be accepted of him, and in the hereafter he will be one of the losers. Notice, there's a separation between this world and the hereafter. It will never be accepted of him, and then in the hereafter, he'll be in trouble. Muslims are not going to accept another religion. So if the Muslims go out, and what does Muhammad say? I fight until they say La ilaha illallah. If you want to live in peace with the Muslims, yes, but you have to say it. And if you want another religion, it'll never be accepted from you. Now, Nadir says that Ibn Kathir gets all of this wrong, and that Ibn Kathir isn't evidence. Well, that's not exactly how I'm using Ibn Kathir. I'm not using Ibn Kathir to say, you see, this is official Islamic doctrine. The way I'm using Ibn Kathir goes more like this. Ibn Kathir goes with the most straightforward interpretation of these texts. If you say Ibn Kathir is wrong, it's because these texts were ambiguous, misleading, unclear. And if you're saying these verses of the Quran, fight those who do not believe in Allah, are misleading and unclear and should be reworded, well, then you've just contradicted the Quran, which says that these verses are perfectly clear. Islam doesn't allow Muslims like Nadir to reinterpret these commands. That's why Ibn Kathir goes with the straightforward interpretation. So I think I really understand Nadir's position this evening. It goes like this. Allah is basically a good guy. He means well. He tries. But no matter how hard he tries to say what he means, the word just won't come out right. He gets all tongue-tied. He wants to say, go out and create peace. Create peace with other people. Promote religious harmony and tolerance. But it comes out, fight those who do not believe in Allah. Allah has some sort of cosmic Tourette syndrome where he blurts out things he doesn't really mean. Nadir, that's your God? That's your God who claims to speak perfectly, clearly? A God who gets all tongue-tied and gets his words twisted and misleads even his own prophet and all of his followers? Nadir, I'll just be honest, that doesn't sound like God to me. That sounds like stuttering Stanley.
As I said, the debate is basically over. Now he's just kind of quibbling tonight. He's coming up with his own interpretations. And for example, the Quran said, and whoever seeks a religion other than him, it will never be accepted of him. Yes, God will not accept any other religion other than Islam. But now he's trying to somehow, hang on in this debate, and he tried to misinterpret this Quranic verse to mean you never accept it from them. Okay, fine, I won't accept it. Even if we go along with your interpretation, fine. You tell me you're a Christian, fine, I won't accept that. All right, so that doesn't prove anything. It was basically a cheap attempt because, as I said, he's finished tonight. The hadith of Ka'b bin Malik is very clear. I'll just keep repeating it, because he doesn't seem to want to address the hadith of Ka'b bin Malik. If you offer peace, we will accept it, and make you partners in peace and war. Now remember, he said, if the Prophet Muhammad said, I have been ordered to fight the people until they testify. Right, David, this hadith is explaining that. It says, if you offer peace, we will accept it, and make you partners in peace and war. If you refuse, we shall fight you as long as we live till you turn to Islam. So let me give him more evidence tonight. Obviously, you notice he's really not directly refuting this hadith which I'm giving him. He keeps hanging on to a commentary as if it is God's word, but he's already been refuted by other people on that. That commentaries are not evidence in Islam. Now let me read this hadith for you, and I hope this will finish him off. And he can just accept, yes, Nadir, Muslims can live at peace with other non-Muslims. There is nobody on earth who no scholar on earth who said peace is haram. You know what the word haram means? The word haram means forbidden. There is no scholar, there's no one. This is your Davidian interpretation of Islam. But no Muslims believe in this. It has never existed. Even you talk about the biggest whack jobs like Al-Qaeda, even they don't believe in that nonsense. So peace, living in peace with non-believers, it is not haram. We will not burn in hell for that, okay? So now let me go ahead and read this hadith for you. The pagans were of two kinds as regards to their relationship with Muhammad and the believers. Some of those are who the Prophet were at war with, and they used to fight against him, and he used to fight against them. The others were those who the Prophet made a treaty with, and neither did the Prophet fight them, neither did they fight him. This is, so I hope, so once again you see more confirming evidence for what I'm saying. But David said everybody should be fought for being non-believers. We already exposed that nonsense. It's not written in the Quran. Muhammad never taught it.
Which part of fight those who do not believe in Allah isn't clear? I find it very ironic that I seem to have more respect for the communication ability of the Quran than Muslims do. Fight those who do not believe in Allah. Perfectly clear, as the Quran claims to be. Even we turn to Muhammad's claims. I have been commanded to fight people until they say, La ilaha illallah. But according to Nadir, no. Ka'b bin Malik speaks more clearly than both Muhammad and Allah. Do you not see why a classical Muslim, a Muslim not raised in the United States of America, would find this appalling? You are saying Allah Almighty claims to speak perfectly clearly. But his words say, fight those who do not believe. And so we need someone to come along and explain what Allah really means. We need someone like Nadir to come along and clarify it for the rest of us. We need someone to say, this is what this verse actually means. It doesn't mean what it says, because what it says is, fight those who do not believe in Allah. What Muhammad said is, I've been commanded to fight people until they say, La ilaha illallah. And so you have Ibn Kathir and Orthodox Muslims for centuries who say, Muhammad means exactly what he says. And then the Western Muslims, influenced, it seems, more by the Bill of Rights than they have by their scriptures, come and say, no, all of our classical commentators got it wrong. We know what Allah really meant, and we can say it more clearly than he can. We can explain it for all of you. But when the Quran claims, as it does, to be fully explained, what need is there for further explanation by Westernized Muslims? And why did Allah wait so long to give us people who can explain the Quran for us? I mean, think about it. Centuries of violence. 270 million people killed in the name of Islamic jihad because Allah couldn't make himself clear enough until the 21st century. That's your God? Again, I find it amazing that I have more respect for the Quran and for the Hadith and for Muhammad than Muslims do. I at least have the respect to let the texts mean what they say. Westernized Muslims are not giving the Quran even that degree of respect.